Yo, what's up, guys? It's a new series I'm doing called Q&A. Basically, I'm going to take questions from either the comments in these videos or from my Twitch chat and then answer them, get my thoughts on them. So let's get right into this. dblade versus longsword. So what are the good things about dblade? Well, you get extra HP and you get some lifesteal, although you have lower AD. And then longsword, you just have more AD and are able to buy more pots, okay? So, why would I want dblade? It's less damage, it's less potions, it's less effective. It's less HP overall because less pots. Well, thing about dblade, the big thing about dblade is the 80 HP. If I'm facing a bot lane that's gonna all in me, and I'm taking majority of the damage, so probably like an enchanter lane. So say I'm like a Sona Jinx versus a Nautilus Draven. Nautilus Draven is always going to play to all in me. I'm never going to have an opportunity to use multiple potions to regen because they're just forcing a straight up all in. Longsword is better in lanes where you're not going to have all ins forced on you and you'll have an opportunity to take short trades and use those pots. Longsword, usually I go if I'm up against poke, like Ezreal Zareth, or if I'm playing front to backs, because in a front to back I'm not gonna take as much damage, and I'm gonna take like pretty short trades and mostly take damage from minions, right? So if that's the case, then I'd rather have the regen so I can continue to take shorter trades, rather than the D blade, which is gonna give me less HP overall. The lifesteal on Doran's blade is actually like very negligible. The 3% is like only like 3 health per auto, right? Whereas like the potion is gonna give me way more HP over the course of the lane, especially on Samira. Having those potions is like way more beneficial usually because usually you get poked out of lane. Like that's her big weakness, right? You have short range, you get poked out of lane, you get zoned off the minions, right? Having the extra 3 potions will make it so that in those earlier levels where it's rough for you, you don't get poked out as much. Also, another thing about longsword is it puts you closer to your main components of your items. Vamp Scepter, Serrated Dirk, huge power spikes for Samira, especially. So, longsword is usually the better option for Samira, because generally if I'm playing Samira, most supports will pick like engage or like frontline. So I don't really need the D-Blade HP, because usually they're going to be soaking most of the damage, and I'm just going to be dealing most of the DPS. So in conclusion, usually the good things about longsword is that it's a safety net for short trades, right? It's a safety net for getting poked out of lane, and it gets you to your item faster. Whereas on the flip side, D-Blade might help you in case of all-ins.